So when we clean up the left side of what we had there earlier, we get a negative 7x to the third, and then plus 31x squared, and then minus 24x. That's the left side. And that is equal to, so we just got rid of the parentheses and combined like terms on the left. On the right side, remember I said we were going to factor out the greatest common factor? And that is bracket x times parenthesis. The LCM, least common multiple. That's what we were factoring out. Parenthesis x minus 1, bracket, times what remains. So we pulled out the LCM. That is our LCM. LCM. And it's multiplying a sub 1 times x minus 1 squared plus b sub 1 times x minus 1 plus b sub 2 times x. Okay, now we're going to factor the left side. We're trying to gather all the coefficients together. That's what we're in the process of doing. So we have a common factor on this side of negative x. So let's pull out negative x, and it leaves 7x squared minus 31x plus 24. And that equals the other side, which I don't want to write again. I'll just bring down ditto marks. Just bring it all down. And then we'll factor this side further. Negative x times parenthesis, two sets of parentheses, a 7x here, and x on the first place here, and then minus 24 and minus 1. And you can check that to see that's a good factor by guessing. And then bring down the other side. I'll actually write out the other side, okay? It is x times x minus 1 times bracket a sub 1 parenthesis x minus 1 squared plus b sub 1 times x minus 1 plus b sub 2 times x bracket. Okay, now what I want you to notice is we have this common factor here and this common factor here. So we're going to get rid of it by dividing both sides. We're going to divide both sides by x times x minus 1. And when we do that, these guys are going to cancel. This one, this one, this one, and this one. The negative sign will stay, but the x and the parenthesis x minus 1 will cancel. And that's going to give us the following result. It's going to give us negative 7x plus 24. That's all that's left on the left side. On the right side, we will have more than that. We will have a sub 1 times x minus 1 to the second power plus b sub 1 times x minus 1 plus b sub 2 times x. Now, on second thought, it would be too difficult to get rid of all these parentheses on the right side and get the coefficients of x equated. So instead, we'll use a similar method that we used earlier, but we'll call this statement double star. This is double star statement. And there we're going to do as we did earlier. We're going to let x equal 0 in the double star. And that's going to eliminate some of the coefficients. When we let x equal 0, it actually gives the following result. It gives on the left side 24, and on the right side, it equals a sub 1. Everything else drops out. So we have a value for a sub 1. Next, we're going to say let x, we're trying to get rid of some more of these guys, so let x equal 1 in the double star. So go ahead and substitute 1 in place of x, and you're going to get 17 equals b sub 2. Great, we have two of the values, a sub 1 and b sub 2. Now we will use a sub 1 and b sub 1, just as we did last time, a sub 1 and b sub 2, I should say, in the double star statement. And see what we get. That will give us, so looking at the double star statement, that gives us negative 7x plus 24 equals 24, parenthesis, x minus 1 squared plus b sub 1 times x minus 1 plus 17 times x. So now let's do another one of those substitutions. Let x equal 2 to eliminate some coefficients. And we're going to put it into this statement that we just had, this one right here. And the result will be negative 14, and then plus 24. Okay, that's negative 14 because it's negative 7 times 2, equals, and down here we're going to get 24, just 24, and then plus 2 times b sub 1, plus 34. That's actually a beautiful statement because it only has one variable, b sub 1. So we're just going to move things around and do a little arithmetic that I'm not going to show all the work for. You can do it on the side if you want to prove it to yourself, but it ends up giving us b sub 1 equals negative 24. I'll put a box around that. So now we've found a sub 1, b sub 2, b sub 1. Do we need anything else? Now, remember what we're going to do with these. We're going to substitute these into the basic stencil that we had at the very beginning, which was x to the third power minus 8 over x squared times parenthesis x minus 1 cubed. Remember we had that equals a sub 1 over x, and then we had plus a sub 2 over x squared, and then we had plus b sub 1 over parenthesis x minus 1, plus b sub 2 over parenthesis x minus 1 squared, and finally plus b sub 3 over x minus 1 to the third power. Remember that? That was from way back in the first video. Now that's not our answer. I'm just going to put a cloud around it. We're going to substitute. Not only are we going to substitute the things that we found on this video, a sub 1, b sub 2, and b sub 1, we're also going to substitute the things we found in the first part, the previous video, which was the a sub 2 that we found there, and let's see what else, the b sub 3. So putting it all together, we now conclude that the answer equals, okay, so this guy would go right here. I don't want to write him again. And then the answer would be 24 over x plus 8 over x squared minus 24 over x minus 1 plus 17 over x minus 1 squared, and finally minus 7 over x minus 1 to the third. And that is our partial fraction decomposition. And we're finished.